We've all been there. You're out for a nice dinner, you spend your hard-earned money, and the meal that arrives is a huge disappointment. But what if you could avoid that mistake before you even order? What if you had one of the world's most famous Michelin-starred chefs whispering in your ear? Gordon Ramsay isn't just a TV star, he's a master chef who knows every secret and dirty trick of the restaurant industry. For years, he's been warning diners about the dishes that are overpriced, poor quality, or a genuine risk. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on that expert advice, counting down the 10 dishes he says you should absolutely avoid. Some of these are going to surprise you. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a comfort food classic found on countless casual dining menus, the lasagna. Now, this dish is a perfect place to start because it establishes Ramsay's core philosophy. Most of us see it as a safe, hearty option, but Ramsay's advice to avoid it isn't just because it's rarely authentic. It's because he knows exactly how it's made. He knows that in almost any kitchen that isn't a high-end, dedicated Italian restaurant, that lasagna was not made today. He knows that the meals are mass-produced in giant, factory-like trays, sometimes days in advance. They are then chilled, portioned into squares, and stored before finally being reheated to order, often in a microwave. This process is a recipe for disaster when it comes to food quality. Any freshness, texture, or delicate flavor is completely destroyed. The pasta turns to mush. The meat becomes gritty and dry, and the layers congeal into a gluey, uniform mess. Ramsay's point is simple and damning. He knows what goes on behind the scenes, and for that reason, he'd never order it. It's a powerful lesson that the kitchen's convenience often comes at the direct expense of the meal's quality, a theme we'll see again and again on this list. Coming in at number 9 is a warning about restaurant psychology. Dishes with famous names or pictures on the menu. You've seen it 100 times. Grandma's famous meatloaf, or a big, glossy picture of a legendary bacon burger. According to Ramsay, this is often a major red flag for a tourist trap or a restaurant that isn't confident in its food. A truly confident chef, in his view, lets the quality of the ingredients and the description of the dish do the talking. They don't need a gimmick. Using a picture or a flashy name like the Colossal Burger is a marketing trick designed to draw your eye and make you order something that sounds more exciting than it actually is. These dishes are often the most generic, mass-appeal items on the menu, things that are easy for any line cook to assemble quickly, often from pre-made components. They lack the care, craft, and soul of a true signature dish that a chef is passionate about. You end up paying a premium price, not for superior quality, but for the gimmick. Ramsay's advice is to be wary of any dish that has to try that hard to sell itself. Here's the test. If the menu has glossy photos, but the server can't tell you where the meat comes from, it's a pass. At number 8, we have a critique that gets to the heart of Ramsay's culinary philosophy. Overly complex dishes. You're scanning the menu, and you see it. A piece of chicken served with a raspberry balsamic reduction, saffron risotto, asparagus foam, sun-dried tomato dust, and 5 other things. It sounds fancy, right? According to Ramsay, it's a sign of an insecure chef. He believes that great cooking is about confidence in your core ingredients. A chef who has a beautiful, fresh piece of fish or a perfectly aged steak doesn't need to hide it under a mountain of other flavors. A long, convoluted list of ingredients is often a smokescreen, used to disguise the fact that the main component of the dish isn't very good. It's a classic case of quantity over quality. Furthermore, the more components a dish has, the more chances there are for something to go wrong in a busy kitchen. The result is often a confusing, muddled mess of flavors where nothing really shines. Ramsay's advice is to look for dishes with fewer ingredients that showcase the quality of the main item. Simplicity is often a sign of confidence. Here's how to check. Ask your server which elements are cooked to order. If most are pre-made components, the plate is assembly, not cooking. Coming in at number 7 is one of Gordon Ramsay's most famous and passionate opinions. you should never order a well-done steak. Now, on the surface, he believes that cooking a great piece of meat to that temperature ruins its flavor and texture. But his bigger, more urgent warning is about what happens in the kitchen when that order comes in. He revealed that many professional kitchens have a long-standing unspoken tradition known as save for well done. This means that chefs often reserve their oldest, poorest quality, and least desirable cuts of meat specifically for well-done orders. They know that the intense cooking process will obliterate any subtle flavors and tender texture anyway. So why waste a beautiful prime cut? The high heat will mask any imperfections, toughness, or even slight off flavors from a piece of meat that is nearing its expiration date. One chef famously described it as a culinary cremation. You end up paying the same premium price as the person who ordered their steak medium rare, but you are receiving a demonstrably inferior piece of meat. It's a terrible value proposition, and, in Ramsay's eyes, an insult to both the animal and the diner. Let's be honest, how do you like your steak cooked? Are you a die-hard medium-rare fan, or do you stand by your well-done order? Let's see it in the comments. At number 6, we have an item that many people might think is a safe, light option. But Ramsay warns against it. Sushi in a non-sushi restaurant. You're at a pub or a casual American bistro, and you see spicy tuna roll on the appetizer menu. It sounds refreshing, but this is a huge red flag. Sushi is a highly specialized art form. A true sushi chef often trains for a decade or more to master the craft. They know how to select, store, and slice fish with surgical precision. A general restaurant that also serves burgers and pasta simply does not have this level of expertise or the proper supply chain for sushi-grade fish. At best, it will taste bland and have a mushy texture. At worst, it's a serious health risk. And frankly, this warning extends beyond sushi to other high-risk fish like swordfish, which other chefs have warned against due to high mercury levels and parasites. For Ramsay, the rule is simple. Order food from specialists who respect the ingredients. Paying specialty prices for a product made by a non-specialist is a gamble for both your wallet and your health. Now, we're raising the stakes. At number 5, Ramsay's warning is less about flavor and more about your physical well-being. Mussels. A beautiful bowl of steamed mussels in a white wine and garlic broth is one of life's great pleasures. But according to Ramsay, it's also one of the riskiest dishes you can order if you don't have complete and total trust in the kitchen. The reason is simple biology. Mussels are filter feeders. This means they pump large volumes of water through their bodies, and in the process, they can absorb and concentrate dangerous bacteria and toxins. It's a danger public health agencies constantly warn about, because unlike other bacteria, these toxins are not destroyed by cooking. A single dead mussel that has started to decompose, or one that was harvested from contaminated water, can make you violently ill. A great kitchen will be meticulous about this, checking every single mussel before it's cooked. But in a busy, chaotic, or less than professional kitchen, a bad one can easily slip through. Ramsay's rule is to ask who is cooking them. If it's a chef who takes pride in them, great. If not, it's an unacceptable gamble. Coming in at number 4 is a product that Gordon Ramsay despises with a fiery passion. Anything with truffle oil. You see it on menus everywhere, drizzled on fries, pasta, or risotto, instantly adding $5 or $10 to the price. It sounds like the height of luxury, but according to Ramsay, it is a complete and utter fraud. He has called it a cheap synthetic imposter and industrial garbage. And he's right. The truth is that truffle scent in most oils is just a synthetic aroma compound called 2,4-dithiapentane, not real truffle. It's a chemical designed to mimic the aroma, but it does so in a clumsy, overpowering way. Ramsay and other top chefs hate it because its pungent, gas-like aroma completely kills the flavor of every other ingredient on the plate. It's a sign of a lazy, gimmick-driven kitchen that wants to trick you into thinking you're getting a luxury experience. In reality, you're paying a massive premium for a few drops of cheap, synthetic flavoring. It is a culinary deception. Ramsay's advice is to save your money. Don't fall for this fake luxury. If you're still watching and finding these details valuable, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave the number 4 in the comments below just to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll consider subscribing and ringing that bell so you don't miss a thing. Your support is what allows us to keep creating helpful content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's get into the top 3. Now we're down to the final 3. These aren't just about bad flavor or health risks. Ramsay warns against these because they represent the biggest and most common deceptions in the restaurant industry. At number 3, we have a warning that will make you rethink that simple, hearty bowl of chili or spaghetti bolognese. Ground beef dishes. On the surface, these seem like safe, affordable, and comforting choices. But according to chefs like Ramsay, the ground meat dish is the perfect place for a kitchen to hide its secrets. Think about it. Ground meat is often a mixture of various cuts of meat, trimmings, and scraps from larger, more expensive cuts. In a good kitchen, this is a smart way to use the whole animal, but in a less reputable kitchen, it can be a dumping ground for older meat that is nearing its expiration date, along with excess fat and gristle. Once it's all ground up and mixed with bold ingredients like chili powder and tomatoes, any signs of age or poor quality nearly disappear. Those strong spices aren't just there to make it taste good, they're also there to hide weaknesses in the core ingredient. The big exception, of course, is a restaurant that proudly grinds its own meat fresh daily. If you can confirm that, you're likely in the clear. But otherwise, you're putting a lot of trust in the kitchen's integrity. This one might be the biggest shock on the entire list. At number 2, the dish you should almost never order is the innocent-sounding soup of the day. It seems like such a classic, reliable choice, but this is one of Ramsay's most damning insider secrets. He warns that the soup of the day is often the soup of the week. In many kitchens, the soup is made from the bin ends, all the leftover, offcuts of meat and vegetables from the past several days that are on the verge of expiring. It's the perfect way for a kitchen to hide ingredients that are a day or two past their prime. Once it's all blended together, who can tell? The test is simple. Ask your server, when was this soup made? If the answer isn't this morning, you should probably order something else. Now, the green flag here is transparency. If the kitchen proudly lists the soup's ingredients and the date it was made, or if it changes daily and sells out, you're likely in the clear. But in most cases, you're essentially paying for the restaurant's nicely packaged leftovers from the entire week. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number 1 thing you should never order at a restaurant, according to Gordon Ramsay, is anything from the specials board. This is his ultimate warning because it's the broadest, most common, and most deceptive trap in the entire restaurant industry. We've been conditioned to think that specials means the chef is feeling creative. Sometimes that's true. But Ramsay warns that more often than not, the specials board is the kitchen's primary tool for getting rid of any and all ingredients that are about to expire and need to be sold fast. It could be that fish that's a day past its prime, or the steak that's starting to turn color. The chef creates a new, exciting-sounding dish specifically to use up these ingredients before they have to be thrown in the trash. You, the diner, become the guinea pig for the kitchen's inventory management. And the worst part? These specials are often priced as unique, premium offerings, tricking you into paying more for the oldest ingredients in the entire kitchen. So, here's what you ask. What just came in today? That's the real special. Now, to be fair, at a truly high-end, chef-driven restaurant, specials can be where you find seasonal treasures. The key is to ask the server why it's special. And there you have it. 10 frank pieces of advice from one of the world's most respected chefs. His warnings aren't meant to make us afraid of dining out. Instead, they are tools, insider knowledge, to help us all become wiser diners. If you enjoyed this journey, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you know a friend or family member who could use this advice, please share this video with them. It might just help them bring something truly special to their table. Of course, if you want more honest, in-depth reviews just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell so you never miss our next adventure. Thanks so much for watching.